What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the corner. The only corner where we're selling statistics and knowledge and not dope and pussy. We're going to start it off with the recap of Rivalry Week. It has come and gone. And then we're going to talk about Conference Championship Week and what I think some of these games hold in terms of how much they will affect college football playoffs. And then we got the last college football playoff bracket, in my opinion, DAWGS bracket, before we get the final one and we figure out who's going to be in the playoffs. We're going to start off with number 4 Georgia taking on number 23 Georgia Tech. Georgia gets the win 16-9. They're in the Mercedes Dome, playing on a Friday. Dogs get the 8th straight win against Tech in the series. Had 190 rushing yards, did not do much to the air, but might be holding on to a little bit. We are not done talking about the Dogs for the day either. Number 2 Indiana gets the win 56-3 against Purdue on the road. Had 550 yards and 355 of those were on the ground. They held Purdue to only 44 yards on the ground. They'll be playing Ohio State for the Big Ten Championship. Number 7 Ole Miss gets the win 38-19 at Mississippi State. Chambliss 23 for 34, 359 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Keywan Lacey 27 rushes for 143 yards on the ground and a touchdown to add to his already phenomenal season. Honorable mention, Mississippi State's quarterback that's been playing for Blake Sharpen, whatever his name is, Kamario Taylor, 15 for 31, 178 passing yards, had a pick, but 20 rushes for 173 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. So 300 total yards from a genuine dual threat quarterback. I mean, I love that. You love to see that nowadays. Texas A&M, boys, takes the loss 17-27 in Austin against the University of Texas. Marcel 20 for 32, 180 yards, 2 interceptions, 12 rushes for 71 yards. He was only sacked twice, so it wasn't like he was running for his life. Arch Manning was only 14 for 29, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of them on the ground and one of them through the air. Had 53 rushing yards. But Quinn Trevion Wisner was 19 for 155 yards. This Texas team has really struggled to run the football this year. I mean, just like Alabama, LSU, just struggling to break 60, just absolutely. And Texas has the running backs to do it. So, Texas only 400 yards of offense. A&M 1 possession time, but lost the turnover margin. Take themselves out of the SEC championship. Probably put themselves in the first round for sure. Number 1 Ohio State gets the win in Ann Arbor against number 15 Michigan, 27-9. Michigan started off hot on defense, but could not do absolutely jack shit with the football. First 2 possessions had great field position, only came away with 6 points altogether. OSU's touchdown before half pretty much killed any momentum that the Wolverines had, period. Julian Sayin was 19 for 26, 233 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. Bo Jackson was 22 for 117 yards. Cardell Tate, 5 for 82 and a touchdown. And Jeremiah Smith, 3 for 40 and a touchdown. Now, those 2 both came back from injury during this game to play in this rivalry game. I do not know how exactly healthy they are, but they have a very big game this weekend against Indiana. Number 5, Texas Tech, 49-0 win in West Virginia. They were 14 for 21 on third down. That is one of the highest just third down totals I've seen from a top team this year when I'm looking at stats, honestly. They had 572 yards of offense, 384 of that through the air, 188 on the ground. Baron Morton, 25 for 32, 310 and 3 touchdowns. Caleb Douglas, 5 for 127 and 2 touchdowns. Texas Tech, one of my favorite offenses, one of my favorite quarterbacks is Baron Morton. I do not know how well they will do in the playoffs when they're playing a little bit better competition than the Big 12, but I think it'll be exciting to see a team that, spent a lot of money in the transfer portal. It's got a lot of NIL money, just like Michigan, and Michigan is not in contention. LSU, a lot of these teams put a lot of money into their teams, especially their offense this offseason, and just did nothing. So it is good to see Texas Tech. Top 5, man. Top 5 right now. Number 6, Oregon with a 26-14 win at Washington. Dante Moore, 20 for 29, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 passing. Malik Benson, 5 for 102 yards and a touchdown. Now, this Oregon team, man, they did give up 4 sacks. Or they had 4 sacks. I'm sorry. They had 4 sacks. But this Oregon team, the one scary thing is that Dante Moore, when Dante Moore is hot, all 7 of the running backs they have are doing great. Now, what they're going to do in a big game like college football, like the playoffs, I don't know, because they did lose to Indiana and have struggled with Iowa. But I think if Dante Moore, Davison, Whittington, Sadiq, and Benson are all on the same page and are all rolling, I think this Oregon team is going to be very hard to beat. And I think Dan Lanning's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve. So I think Oregon very much deserves to go to the playoffs. LSU in Oklahoma loses 13-17. Number 8 Oklahoma. I would love to say that they've earned the playoff spot. I think they just won in the right time, beat the right teams. I don't trust the offense at all, for the sole purpose of Mateer has not been the same since his surgery. I think Satenga the third is an absolute baller out at receiver. In this game against LSU, John Mateer was 23 for 38. He had 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had 3 picks. That is the most yards that's more yards than the Oklahoma has had in 2 games put together almost. Honestly, they've been struggling to break 200 yards. Their defense is phenomenal. Defense is absolutely great. Now, Satenga, the aforementioned, was 9 receptions for 121 yards and a touchdown. They had 0 sacks on defense. That is shocking to me in this, for this defense. I mean, Oklahoma has stood on their defense. LSU also had 0 sacks, so if they protect Mateer, he can do what he does, but I really don't believe that this Oklahoma team is going to get any win in the playoffs, to be honest with you. If they get matched up with the right team. Number 9, Notre Dame, went to Stanford to play Andrew Luck's alma mater that he has now taken the reins for. C.J. Carr was 17 for 27, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 on the ground. Jeremiah Love was only 14 rushes for 66 yards and a touchdown. They had multiple running backs with a touchdown on the ground in this game. They gave up 0 sacks. So Notre Dame has absolutely balled out since they did exactly what they needed to do since they started out 0-2. They won every fucking game. And the few games that they should have handled, they fucking handled. So I think they very much have earned a college football playoff spot without having a conference championship. Granted, this year it doesn't really fucking matter, even though they will matter, but I digress, we will get there. They get the win 49-20. Alabama, number 10 Alabama, gets the win in Jordan-Hare against the University of Auburn, 27-20. Bama with only 280 yards of offense, 120 through the air and 160 on the ground, which for Alabama, I think they really are focusing on the rushing game right now because they struggled just like the University of LSU, just like Texas. So I think they are very much focusing on some of these smaller teams on what they are not doing very well, you know. Ty Simpson was 19 for 35, 122 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Slightly better on the ground, but the O-line gave up 3 sacks. So Simpson kind of running for his life right now. That's pretty much it. We have pretty much all we have for the recap. We're gonna get into conference championship lineup for Saturday. First off, we've got number 11 BYU taking on Texas Tech again. They got their ass smacked in the regular season. I do not believe that it will be any different at all, period. Next, at 4 o'clock, we've got number 4 Georgia taking on number 10 Alabama. I think Georgia hands Alabama the third loss and takes them out of the playoffs, honestly. I think it should. We'll get there. I think Dogs get the win. North Texas is taking on number 24 Tulane. Now Tulane is not. They do not have their head coach. I think they will hold that against them in the college football playoff, just like they will Ole Miss. Number 2 Indiana is taking on Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Now I think that Indiana 100% will beat Ohio State. I think they expose Ohio State because they run the football very well and they got Mendoza. I think it's a close game, but I think there's a possibility they absolutely stomp them. And then finally we've got Duke, maybe the third conference championship game participant with more than 5 losses ever. So they're taking on number 18 Virginia. I think Virginia gets the win for sure. I think North Texas upsets Tulane. Indiana gets it done, and I think Virginia gets it done. Next, we've got the bracket, boys. This was the most problems I've had with a bracket all year long. I have no idea what they're going to do depending on conference championships and then what they're going to do with, I guess, who wins those, and then I just don't know with the ACC. But with that being said, number 1, I've got Indiana because they beat Ohio State. Number 2, I've got Georgia because they beat Alabama. And I've got number 3, Ohio State. Number 4, I've got Texas Tech. I think they switched Texas Tech and Oregon just for the sole purpose that Texas Tech is a conference champion. So I think number 5, we've got Oregon. Number 6, we've got Texas A&M. Number 7, we've got Oklahoma. Number 8, we've got Notre Dame. Number 9, we've got Ole Miss. Number 11, I've got Virginia. And number 12, I've got the University of North Texas. Now, with that being said, I think number 10 will either be Vandy or Miami. I really think with Alabama, I think that this Alabama-Georgia game will not be the same as the regular season Alabama-Georgia game. So with that being said, I think that they've really struggled to put in another SEC team. I think they slipped Miami in there. I don't believe they'll put BYU in because BYU will have lost to Texas Tech twice, and I think they're going to get their ass whooped again. So, and then, honorable mention, boys, I would like to speak on this Lane Kiffin thing, man, because I really didn't think that he was going to go to any other school. I thought if he left, he would go to Florida, but he went to LSU. Now, his reasoning and what people say his reasoning is that he's looking for a playoff team. He's looking for a better recruiting pool. He's looking for just a bigger school, he's looking for an SEC school. Now, you just won 11 games, you're in the playoffs, and your team has one of the top 10 offenses in the nation. So if you win a national championship, you're going to get recruits. I don't see why you leave to go to a team that you have absolutely no ties to. It's not like, he's going back to USC to right his wrongs. It's not like he's going back to Tennessee. It's like he's just a rat, man. He's just a rat. So I really started to like Lane Kiffin, and man, what are you gonna do? What do you want us to think, man? You're gonna run for the hills. Nobody will trust this man. He better make it work at LSU, or he better go back to the NFL. Like, it is. Like, what are you... That's crazy, man. And then he kind of, he went on a massive PR tour on some of these shows. And then it's just, man, dude, Lane fucking Kiffin, boys. But that's all I got to say on it. With that being said, deuces.